So last year we had a trial which concluded with Melvin Lebaga-Idubor being found guilty for the murder of Kwabena Osei-Poku, and today we've had the sentencing of that. Melvin was sentenced to 21 years imprisonment as a minimum as part of his life tariff, which is a considerable amount of time considering his young age. Ultimately, he's going to spend longer now in prison than he has already spent living on this earth. It's going to give him an incredible amount of time to think about and contemplate what he's done, the choices he's made. Ultimately, as a result of carrying a knife, we've seen another young man's life taken away needlessly. This all started as a result of some low-level cannabis dealing on the campus of the University of Northampton that Melvin was involved in and also Kwabena was involved in. Melvin took exception to that and he decided to take it upon himself to warn Kwabena off of his patch, as he referred to it. He set up a fake drugs deal where he proposed he was going to buy some drugs from Kwabena, but ultimately his plan all along was to steal those drugs from him. That deal took place, the theft took place, and Kwabena protested trying to get his drugs back, pleaded with Melvin repeatedly to get his drugs back. Melvin had no intention of doing so, and armed with a knife, he led Kwabena off campus. Off campus, he felt that he was safe, there was no cameras, no witnesses, and an altercation took place in which unfortunately Kwabena suffered a fatal stab wound to his neck as well as a further stab wound to his torso. Following that investigation conducted, Antonio Juan was identified as a member of a close associate of Melvin, and he provided assistance in his escape from the scene, safe haven at his home address, as well as supporting him to the hospital where he was planning on receiving some treatment. Antonio Juan also assisted in the burning of some of Melvin's clothing and assisting him whilst he was planning his escape to London and then onwards to France. As a result of Antonio's involvement, he pleaded guilty at an earlier hearing and he received a sentence of 14 months imprisonment, which has been suspended for 21 months as a result of time already served in custody. This whole case has brought about untold pain and suffering to Kwabena's family. He's clearly a much-loved brother, a son and friend to many people, and he's had his whole life ahead of him. That's been needlessly taken away as a result of one very quick decision to use a knife. Whenever people carry knives, they need to really think long and hard. What are they going to do with it when they draw that knife? If a threat alone with that knife isn't sufficient to meet their demands, what then? When you stab someone, you do not know what the consequences are going to be, and quite often they're fatal, and that is devastating for the victim's family as well as all of those that loved Melvin too. Their lives have been turned upside down as well. So the impact is huge upon the individuals involved and the community. It's been a complex investigation. We had over a dozen suspects who were arrested, around 23 scenes that needed processing, and the team have worked tirelessly as well to get the verdicts that we have and the sentence that was delivered today. I'd like to pay special thanks to DS Matt Bly, Mark Albright as a case officer in the case, and Lee Chennell as well as the family liaison officer, and Jeff Winfield for all of their support during this investigation. Kwabena was known as Alfred to his family and friends, and the impact upon his mother, Joyce, and father Ken have been really telling. Their unwavering support to the investigation team has really been of great benefit to us, and I can't thank them enough. Despite all of the pain and suffering that they were going through as a family unit, they've never once faltered in anything that we've asked from them. They've been at court throughout the hearings as well, attending every meeting with us, and I'd just really like to pass on my respects to them as well.